You're a business owner or a senior business manager, and you believe that you're eligible to apply for Ontario's Entrepreneur Immigration Program. But how can you be sure that you'll be successful? There are hundreds of applicants, if not thousands, who are also applying for the same program. They have profiles similar to you, maybe even better than you. So in this video, I'll try to answer this question for you. How can you do a detailed review of your skills, of your proposed business idea to make sure you're successful before you actually go ahead and submit your application or talk to a professional? This video is part 3 of my business immigration series on Ontario's Entrepreneur Immigration Program. In episode 1, we discussed about the basic eligibility requirements and why you should consider Ontario instead of all of the other provinces and programs. In episode 2, we discussed the step-by-step process, the time it takes, and the fee for different parts of the process. And this is the final video. If you're in this channel for the first time, my name is Rashid Ali. I'm a regulated Canadian immigration consultant from Canada. Through this channel, I share videos on Canadian immigration based on my knowledge, my experience, and my research, so you don't have to spend a lot of time getting this information from inauthentic sources. I share new videos every week. This video is episode 7 of the business immigration series. So to watch more videos, subscribe to the channel, click on the bell icon so you can be notified whenever I upload a new video, and let's begin. In the end, I will also share the past trend, how much score was required in the past to be successful with this program, and I will also share a calculator with you that you can use to calculate your score and do the self-assessment. Ontario's Entrepreneur Immigration Program has a 200-point scale, and those who score the highest points out of 200 are applied periodically throughout the year to submit a detailed application. So in the beginning, you submit your EOI. You are given a score based on your EOI. If you're shortlisted, you then apply for the program with a very detailed application within 90 days. And then if you're successful with that application, you get your work permit, and the whole process continues from there. So let's look at those 200 points. Those 200 points can be broken down into 3 main categories. The first one is the human capital factors. There are 80 points for human capital factors, and they are related to you, your skills, your past experiences. The second part is the investment factors. As the name suggests, they are related to your investment, and they are a maximum of 46 points for this factor. And the third factor with 74 points is the business concept factor, and you must score at least 37 points out of 74 in the business concept factors to be eligible to be selected. So let's start with the first section, the human capital factors. Let's talk about business or senior management experience. You can claim a maximum of 25 points if you have at least 60 months of full-time experience within the last 5 years as a business owner, where you actively manage your business with at least 1/3 equity in it, or if you were a senior manager with decision-making authority, for example, if you were the head of sales, head of marketing, head of finance, vice president of HR, so and so forth, or maybe you were a CEO or chairman. And when you submit your application, Ontario will ask you for proof. For example, they will ask you about employment letters from your employer if you were a senior manager, your organization chart, the hierarchy, where to see where you are in the hierarchy of the organization. If you're a business owner, they might ask you for your different financial documents. For sure, they will ask you for your income statement, for your balance sheet. They can also ask you for reference letters from your investors, from your customers and clients. So you will have to prove that you actually have this experience. The second point is around the quality of your experience, and you can claim a maximum of 35 points. If you're running a business as a business owner or a senior manager which had a 20% growth in revenue in the last 2 years, you get points for that. I'm talking about revenue or sale. I'm not talking about profit. If you were managing an export business which was exporting at least 20% of the products or services outside of your country, you get points for that. Transferable skills. If your proposed business in Ontario is similar to your previous work experience, you get points for that. Now, the way this works is if you meet 1 out of these 3 criteria, you get 15 points. If you meet 2 out of these 3 criteria, you get 25 points. If you meet all 3 criteria, you can score 35 points. Let's talk about education. You also get points for your education. If you don't have any post-secondary education, you get 0 points. If you have a post-secondary diploma of 2 years, you can get 5 points. And if you have a post-secondary education of 3 years, years or longer, for example, a bachelor's degree or 3 years diploma, you can claim 10 points, which is the maximum. By the way, you will have to produce an ECA, an educational credential assessment, to prove that you have this education. Language skills, you also get points for your language skills, and you can get a maximum of 10 points if you have language skills at CLB 5 or higher. If you just meet the minimum, which is CLB 4, you get 5 points, and if you score below CLB 4, you get 0 points. So you can still get nominated for a work permit, but you won't be able to get your PR below CLB 4. So I wouldn't recommend to apply for this if you don't score CLB 4. And you will need to share your IELTS results or CELPIP or an official French language exam in order to claim these points. CLB 4 means 4 out of 9 in writing and speaking, 4.5 in listening, and 3.5 in reading. Now let's talk about the investment factors. The first factor is your net worth. You can claim a maximum of 15 points based on your net worth. In your net worth, you can include your cash, your fixed deposits, your shares in your business, your real property, fixed term deposits, pension, and other assets. All of that can be included. So let's talk about GTA first. If your proposed business is within GTA and your net worth is less than 800,000, you don't get any points. If your net worth is more than 800,000 Canadian dollars but below 2.5 million, you get 5 points. But if your net worth is more than 2.5 million, you get 10 points. Now, if your proposed business is outside of GTA, you will get 15 points if your net worth is $1 million Canadian dollars or more. If it's 400,000 to less than $1 million Canadian dollars, you get 10 points. And if it's less than 400,000, you don't get any points, because that is the minimum net worth requirement to be eligible for this program. So suppose you want to start your business in Hamilton, which is outside of GTA, and you have a net worth of $800,000, you will get 10 points for your net worth. You also get points for your investment amount. You can score a maximum of 25 points. These points also depend on whether or not your business is within GTA or outside of GTA. If your business is within GTA and you invest 3 million or more, you can get 20 points. If you invest 1.5 million to less than 3 million, you can get 15 points. If your investment is between 600,000 to 1.5 million, you get 10 points, and below 600,000 within GTA, you don't get any points for your investment. If your proposed business will be outside of GTA, or if it's an ICT or digital communication related business, you will get more points. If you're investing 800,000 or more, you get 25 points. If you're investing 500,000 to less than $800,000, you get 20 points. If you're investing anywhere from $200,000 to less than $500,000, you get 15 points. And if you're investing less than $200,000, you won't get any points. So what exactly counts as investment? You're purchasing an existing business, that's an investment. If you're building new inventory, that's an investment. If you're doing leasehold improvements, that can also be considered as a part of your investment. And finally, if you're purchasing new equipment, that can also be added to your investment amount. You are allowed to get financing for your investment. You can go to Schedule 1 or Schedule 2 banks, but you can't include that amount as a part of your investment. This investment, these minimum amounts that I shared, they must come from your personal net worth. You can take money, you can borrow money in addition to this investment, but you won't get any benefit in terms of score. Also, since you'll be a new immigrant, chances of getting a loan in good terms are very slim. An interesting point is that Ontario will accept your investment that you made prior to applying for this program, as long as it is within the 12-month window, but they discourage you from doing so, because until you get your work permit, you shouldn't invest any money, because there's always some risk that you might not get selected or you might not get your work permit. Also, in this particular program, irrevocably committing the funds is not required as it was required with the owner operator work permit process. So you don't need to commit your funds till you actually get your work permit. You also get 6 points for business related visits. If you are buying an existing business, you need to make that visit within 12 months prior to submitting your application. That's a mandatory requirement. And they will ask you for proof, for example, your flight itinerary, your boarding passes, summary of your meeting minutes, your photographs from different sessions, business cards of different meeting exchanges, email exchanges from with different stakeholders. So Ontario can ask for these things as proof to make sure that your business, that your visit was an exploratory visit. You wasn't just here for tourism. And also, if you want to apply for a TRV, a visitor visa, for an exploratory visit, you should be very honest and upfront with your application that this will be an exploratory visit. You shouldn't say that I'm here to visit family or it's for tourism. You should openly declare your intent with IRCC. Now let's look at the third part, the business concept factors, where you can get 74 points and you need to score at least 37 in this section. So here is the main distribution of the business concept factor scores. You get 15 points for your description of the business, the actual part of your business plan which shares why you're doing this business, why is it a good idea. All of those details you can score a maximum of 15 points. For your market research, you can score a maximum of 15 points. If you're starting your business in one of the key sectors, in one of the 12 sectors I mentioned in the previous video, and if you're bringing significant economic benefit, you can get 10 points. You get 10 points for your investor allocation. You get 10 points if you're doing this business in a regional area. You can get 7 points for the number of jobs you create and 7 additional points for the type of jobs, the skill level of jobs that you create. Total of 74 points. Let's discuss these in some detail now. Description of the business model, 15 points. If your business plan is very clear, the business you're proposing matches with your previous experience, if you had a very clear plan on how you will grow this business, you will get maximum of 15 points. If your plan isn't very clear, you can get half points, and if it's not clear at all, you won't get any points for it. Market research, you can get 15 points. If your market research is very detailed, you've identified your target market, you've done detailed research about your ideal customers, how your product will benefit them, you also get 10 points if you're bringing significant economic benefit and if your business is in a key sector. Example of significant benefit would be if your business is aligned with Ontario's priorities for the type of businesses they want people to do, very innovative businesses, technology related businesses, if you're bringing intellectual property into Ontario from outside, if you're developing new approaches to traditional businesses, if you're increasing research or development, if you're providing products or services to an underserved community, you're developing new products and services, you will get points for that. And if your proposed business is one of these 12 sectors, the target sectors for Ontario, you get points for that. If you meet both of these criterias and you're able to explain it to Ontario on how your business is actually fulfilling both these criterias, you can get 10 points. You can also get 10 points for investment allocation. If you can very clearly demonstrate how you're allocating your investment, how you're splitting this investment, spending it in different activities that are beneficial for your business. If you really done your research, you really know what you're talking about, you really know where that money will go and how that investment will help you to grow your business, you can get a maximum of 10 points for that. You also get points for your business location. So there are some areas where the population is less than 100,000. If you start your business over there, you can get 10 points. If you're doing your business in an area where the population is more than 100,000 but less than 175,000, you get 5 points. And if it's more than 175,000, you don't get any points. And these three tables can show you where you can claim 10 points, 5 points, or no points. For example, if you want to do your business in Toronto, you won't get any points for that. You can also claim a total of 7 points for job creation. If you create 3 or 4 jobs, you get 5 points. If you create 5 or more jobs, you can get 7 points. And if you create 1 job outside of GTA or within GTA for the ICT or digital communication sector, or for 2 jobs within GTA, you can get 3 points. You also get points based on the skill level of the job, whether it's a managerial job that requires a professional degree, skill level A, or a job that requires a diploma or skill trades related education, skill level B. If you create 2 or more NOC 0A or B jobs, you get 7 points. If you create 1 NOC 0A or B job, you get 5 points. And if you create no jobs that are NOC 0A or B, rather they're skill level C or D, you won't get any points for the type of job you create. Now the question is, will Ontario actually invite you to submit a detailed application, or will you just remain in the expression of interest pool without any progress? Let's look at the past trend to understand this. This table shows the last 7 rounds of invites that have taken place over the last 2 years, in 2019 and in 2020, which shows you the minimum cutoff score and how many applicants were invited based on their expression of interest. You can see the minimum score ranged from 115 to 136. Also, if you look at this table, you'll see that the actual number of applicants who were invited ranged from 13 to 26. So not a lot of people are invited through this program. It's not in thousands like Express Entry, because this is a provincial program. This is related to the entrepreneur stream. This is not skilled immigration. That's why this can get very competitive. You have very few slots and you're competing with a lot of other people. That's why I mentioned this as one of the cons of this program. This can be a drawback because you're competing with a lot of other professionals, a lot of other applicants who might score more points than you based on their net worth, based on their type of business, based on their investment amount. So that can be one of the challenges with this program. But having said that, if your points are high, chances are that you will be invited to submit that application. So how can you do a self-evaluation? I'll make it easy for you. In the description, you'll find a link to a simple tool that I created, and you can input different information in that tool and it will give you your estimated score. Based on that score, based on the past trend, you can have an idea whether or not this program will be a good option for you. So what business do you want to start? Let me know in the comment section or just get in touch. If you're someone who believes that you are eligible for this program, especially after doing this self-assessment through this tool that I just shared, and you need some professional help to submit your application, to prepare your application, feel free to get in touch using the assessment questionnaire link that I have shared in the description, and I will get back to you. If you found this video to be helpful, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. I share new videos every week. There are more videos coming your way. If you missed part 1 and 2 of this video, I will link those in the description also, as well as other programs that are different, that might be faster but might require some additional requirements. For example, a higher English score or French score, like owner operator based LMIA or intra-company transfer. I'll link those episodes in the description as well. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.